Yeah, 3 months with two super cute Dachshunde in Tea Gardens, New South Wales, Australia. We are so lucky. Greg, our host, told us that in Tea Gardens live the most old people in all over Australia. So it's the part where most of the old people live in Australia. And yes, we could really tell. Tea Gardens is an old folks community. It's beautiful and everyone was super friendly. We absolutely loved it to live there for 3 months. But living there for a longer time, so like settle down there, oh no thank you. And that's not about the old people, not because of that, just I would like to live somewhere isolated, no neighbors, like that's what I prefer. But it also has its positives to live in a community because the post office and calls were in walking distance. It was like 3 minutes to walk to go grocery shopping. Oh, and even a butcher was there too. Oh, and even a clinic was there too. And yes, we went there that I could see a doctor. So here is that video about getting DHEA in Australia. By the way, Australia has two big grocery store chains, Woolworths and Coles. And as mentioned, there was a Coles in Tea Gardens, but only a, well, little one, not tiny, it was a good size. No, it was a good size one, but not a big one. So for example, they didn't have kangaroo meat or other things that I could find in a big Coles or at Woolworths. Yeah, for example, they didn't have any unflavored floss. So we got floss at Woolworths in Newcastle. I'm pretty sure the Coles in Newcastle would also have had unflavored floss, but I didn't check. Unfortunately, it is still waxed floss, but that's okay, I can deal with that. With mint flavored or whatever, I can't deal with that. I didn't see that it was flavored, so we bought one at the Coles in Tea Gardens, and I tried it, and oh my gosh, I almost puked. It was so fucking gross. No, okay, let's be honest, almost puked is a bit exaggerated, but I did get nauseous, and I didn't feel well. It was so fucking gross, that mint flavor. So yeah, now Paul has it. Paul can use that. There's a bridge, the Singing Bridge, that divides the two villages, Tea Gardens and Hawk's Nest. Actually, no, it doesn't divide it. The Mile River divides them. The bridge actually connects the two villages. We always drove over that bridge to get to the beach, and Paul renamed it the Shitting Bridge instead of Singing Bridge because there were almost always, not all the time, but a lot of birds sitting on the lampposts up there on the bridge, and mostly pelicans, and they were shitting on the cars that drove over the bridge and also on the floor, of course. So you could totally see on the ground by that lamppost was a lot of bird shit. So yeah. It's the Shitting Bridge now, not the Singing Bridge anymore. Yeah, why is it actually called the Singing Bridge? So apparently when there are strong winds, its railings make a sound. So it's a singing bridge. But we never heard it. But we also never went there by foot, honestly. I wanted to, but then no, we didn't. Unfortunately, neither Tea Gardens nor Hawk's Nest has a public gym, only a little gym for the lifeguards. I already decided before we arrived in Australia that I wouldn't go to a gym because I wanted to bodyboard as much as possible. And yes, of course, the best would be to do both, going to the gym and bodyboard. But I'm still chronically ill, I'm still weak, and I've never really bodyboarded before, so I knew it would be exhausting. And I wanted to put all the energy I had into bodyboarding and take a break from the gym anyways. So it wasn't bad for me at all that there was no gym around. But for Paul, it wasn't really that good. He really needs a gym to work out. But luckily, our host had a bicycle that we were able to use. So Paul sometimes, actually quite a lot, I'm really proud. I think that's great. He did bicycle rides. Yeah, that is great. And he also found a exercise ball in the house, in the garage, I think. So he also used that for some exercises. And of course, we also did dog walks with the two Dachshunde. So yeah, it was totally fine. 3 months with no gym for me anyways, because I did bodyboarding as much as I could. But settling down somewhere where there is no gym in the village or even in the neighbor's village, hell no. That's a huge no-go for us. I hope you can still hear me well. It just started raining and that can be sometimes a bit loud here in Mae Rim, Thailand. Anyways, back to tea gardens and Hawk's Nest, and wow, tea gardens and especially Hawk's Nest reminded us so much of California in the United States. Like a beach town in California, or certain parts even reminded us of Palo Alto. My aunt lives there and it's very close to San Francisco. Except for the brick houses, of course, so many houses are built like in the States. The palm trees, the streets, the look, yeah, it really has an American feel to it. Not just those two villages, also Newcastle, especially driving close by the beach. Yes, they drive on the wrong side of the road and there are some different plants, but it almost could be California. Funny thing, when Greg and Rob came back from spending 3 months in California, the USA, they told us, oh, it reminded them so much of Australia. So we weren't wrong, there is something to that. December 5th, 2025, while we were on the beach, Paul saw a bushfire in the distance. The following days, we sometimes smelled it in the house we were living in. And that's something else that reminded us of the US, of Nevada, where we lived before we started that nomadic life on March 30th, 2024. So we were living in Reno, Nevada, and there were lots of forest fires also in California, and we could smell it. So also that reminded us of that. And yes, in Nevada, we call them forest fires, and in Australia, they call them bushfires. Actually, I do think I read they also call it bushfires in California. But I think Paul and I, we use forest fires. I don't know. Who cares? Right after the shitting bridge in Hawk's Nest, there's a road on the way to the beach, and there it says on the ground, on the road, caution koala, and also signs were up about being careful about koalas. But unfortunately, there are no koalas anymore. Greg told Paul that about 10 years ago, they got a herpes virus and all of them died. So there are no koalas anymore except for the stuffed koala animals tied up on the trees, probably as a memorial to the koalas. Yeah, it's really sad that there are no koalas anymore. There are lots of beautiful eucalyptus forests there. And in Australia, eucalyptus is native, not like in California where the Italians brought them over for windbreakers. So eucalyptus, something else that reminded us of California. But again, sure, it's not native in California. The Italians brought it over, but it is native in Australia. But now California is full of them. Paul recognized some of the eucalyptus. They're the same like in California, but others he didn't recognize. Yeah, even without the koalas, the wildlife in Australia is just amazing, and especially in tea gardens. Where we were living, there was like a lily pond, and the backyard was so great, and especially on the neighbor's backyard, there were many kangaroos, sometimes, usually in packs. They were grazing, and sometimes you could see a little one in the pouch. They call it a joey. The rabbits are even shyer than the kangaroos, but you see them quite often as well. There were also lots of pelicans. There's a freshwater lily pond behind the house, as I mentioned, and the pelicans like to clean themselves in there and hunt for food. Oh, once when it was raining, I saw how the pelicans opened their mouths and drank the rainwater. That was super cool. So many other birds were there too, sometimes still loud at night. They also love to get food out of the lily pond. I first thought those were water snails, what they kept taking out of the water, but later Robin, our host, told me they are actually flower bulbs. For some reason, we kept getting power outages in November, usually on Saturdays, but during the night or early mornings, so it never interfered with me with the cooking, so it was totally fine. But we could never figure out why we got those power outages. Funny thing, we have power outage right now here in Mae Rim, Thailand. They are working on the power lines. Our neighbor texted Paul that from around 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. we probably don't have any power. I was still sleeping and suddenly my fan wasn't working anymore. I was like, we have power outage. So yeah, it would be nice to get like a heads up maybe a week before, or at least 24 hours before, but I mean, I'm glad our neighbor tells us these things. I don't know where she knows it from. So anyways, yeah, it's common here to get power outage. I still hate it. But anyways, back to Australia. Oh wow, so I figured something out in Australia. So I usually wash my hair only once every 2 weeks. A lot of you probably think that, ooh, gross, but I don't think it's good to wash your hair too often with products. I've also been doing that for many years and my hair got used to it. Yes, of course, maybe after a week it started to feel a bit greasy, maybe you could see it a little bit, but usually I just go to the gym and like now I just have a braid or a ponytail, mostly a braid, or I'm just at home, no one around. Who the fuck cares how I look at home? Who the fuck cares how you look at the gym? You get sweaty anyways if you train hard. And I'm not a very social person, so yeah. And I also basically scheduled when to wash my hair. If we went somewhere or we met people or I had appointments or whatever, I usually washed my hair 1 or 2 days before that, so I had freshly washed hair and it looked nice or nicer. Okay, so anyways, while living in tea gardens for 3 months, when I was feeling well, I went into the ocean often, about 3 to 5 days a week, I would say. Here is the video bodyboarding while chronically ill. So I was going into the ocean to bodyboard, and of course my hair got wet. And of course, after being in the ocean, I showered. And I also washed my hair, but with no products. So they had this great shower head where you can turn and change, you know, how the water comes out. And I put it to the most pressure and really, like, I remembered I put my hair on the wall and really tried to get out the ocean water. I had a nice head massage and stuff, so to really get that ocean water out. But I didn't use any products. And holy shit, doing that was totally enough for my hair. Even after 38 days of just washing it with water and no products, my hair still looked pretty good. Okay, so for 30 days, I haven't washed my hair with any products. I've just been in the ocean and washed it out with water very well, with a lot of pressure, but no shampoo, no conditioner, no treatment, and that's how my hair looks after 30 days. I think it's amazing. And what I can add to this video, you probably can see it now, my melasma here. That's very common with women that are pregnant. I'm not pregnant, it's not possible. And it's from hormones. I had it already back in Reno, so that must have been before April 2024. I saw it here, starting very, very slightly. Paul could barely see it, but I of course could see it, but it wasn't really noticeable, but very lightly. And then it started here, and suddenly it just got darker and more. And now also, of course, I usually never put my face into the sun, but here in Australia, I'm doing bodyboarding and well, my face is in the sun, so it's getting darker. I was so scared when it started, and so like, yeah, first it's like, what the fuck is it? And I mean, it doesn't hurt and you can't feel it. It's not like bumpy or something. It's just the skin that it's like freckles, but not yeah, like the same material, I think. Also like, it's just some patches that get darker. And yeah, it's not dangerous or anything. First I was so scared, oh, age spots, but it's not age spots. And then I was really concerned. I was like, I hated it. I was like, no, it's getting darker and darker. It's getting more and more. Like, it makes me look so much older, and it's so. But now I started to get used to it, and I started to like it. I think it's actually pretty. It's interesting. It's not so boring. I know in many countries, especially like South Korea, it's like the skin is so important. I mean, and it has to be like flawless and shouldn't have anything, you know, like totally even and white, of course, in South Korea. I actually think people with a shit ton of freckles, like for example, Kesha. Have you seen Kesha without makeup? She's beautiful. With makeup, she's not pretty. Without makeup, she's so beautiful. So I think it's really cool. But so I love freckles, but I was always glad I didn't have any freckles. And well, these are not freckles, but now, yeah,
I'm getting used to it, and I think it's actually kind of cool, yeah. Okay, day 38 of not washing my hair with any products. I was in the ocean today and I just washed it out very well with just water in the shower, and that's how it looks. I feel here, I don't know if it's, no, it should be totally dry now, but here I feel it's a bit greasy. And it definitely does feel different. So it does feel a bit greasy, but not bad. Certain spots they feel a bit greasy, but other spots they feel, it just, of course, it doesn't feel like after you shampooed it and conditioned it. So I think I also have to get used to it, that it feels differently. I mean, the natural oils, so yeah, but I think it looks still really good. I think tomorrow I'm gonna use shampoo, but only really on my scalp. Because Paul told me I should use shampoo for the scalp, not really for the hair. So I'm not gonna shampoo my entire hair like usual, just the scalp. And well, the hair will get some too, but I'm gonna shampoo the scalp. I don't care how much gets on the hair or not. So, and I'm not gonna use any conditioner because yeah, and I will see what happens. And my melasma looks like this, and yeah, I think now it is what it is. I don't think it's getting worse now. Maybe it will still get a bit worse.
I don't know if it also had to do something with the ocean water, but I think it's also because, I mean, I washed my hair so often just with water without any products, so I made it wet very often, because before that I only made my hair wet when I used shampoo and conditioner, and as mentioned, that was probably every 2 weeks or so. And because I have really long hair, so I didn't want to just make it wet without really washing it. I thought too much work, oh no, I don't want to do that. But since after that incident where I figured out, wow, washing the hair only with water actually works very well, and I can go on much longer without having to use any shampoo. So from then on, I wash my hair much more often now with just water. Oh, and while I'm already talking about my hair, it was also time for my 5th stripe. Every 5 months, Paul dyes half of my roots blonde, so I'm getting stripes. He really got so fast and good at it. Oh, so we were in Australia when end of November 2025, the flooding in South Thailand, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, and Indonesia happened. More than 1,100 people died. As mentioned in previous videos, here is one, Thailand, Khanom, Thailand to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, part 1. So as mentioned there and in another video, we've been to places in Thailand and Malaysia that then later on were flooded. We were happy we weren't there anymore, and of course we were totally safe in Australia. But suddenly Paul realized that money was missing from his account. Someone from Thailand did that. He used his debit card only at the bank in Thailand. Thailand being under a lot of distress with the floods, someone must have stolen debit card numbers from the bank. Paul said lots of parts in Thailand are corrupt. Yeah, the money started missing when the flooding was happening. Whoever did it is smart. Little chunks of $24 got taken out. The first one Paul saw was $24 from Shopee, a fake Shopee account. He said $800 are missing. I was thinking, well, hopefully at least they put it to good use, helping people that got affected by the flood. But Paul said no, most likely not. Those are criminals. So Paul had to freeze his cards and use mine to pay for our rental storage in Reno, phone bills, and other stuff. We were lucky that all happened in November. My card expired the following January. Oh yeah, how did I get a new card? Well, the bank in Reno, Nevada sent my new card to Paul's brother in California, and he sent it to us to Australia by courier. Yes, expensive, but safe. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay protected.